Well, we caught many types of fishes, but I especially like this flounder. It's really unique in itself as it has just one flat side, you know, and they tell me they just have one eye, and I think they may have two, but they're blind in one and can't see the other, and that's why this one caught my hook, and that's why I caught it. So today I'll be showing you how to stuff flounder, and I'm going to make the stuffing first, because while that sautés, I'll show you how to dress this for the stuffing. Okay, I'm going to melt some butter here. Of course, you can use margarine if you want to. And okay, that's melted down. I'm going to add my onions to this. Okay. Good. You add onions and celery. Of course, good old garlic. You don't want it all come out. Don't blame it either. Now, start that cooking down. Actually, you don't want to overdo your onions and celery and garlic. You just want to saute it to where they're kind of limp and their flavor is still there, because you'll be baking this in the oven. So, and I'm going to add my onion tops. Put that together a little bit. This is so easy, and the way I learned how to do that is when I was invited to a camp supper. You know, Cajuns have camp suppers all the time, and Mr. Duyon from Lake Arthur was there, and he was stuffing flounders, and he's the one who showed me how to do this. So I'm going to share that with you. Now I'm using my good old Louisiana shrimp, which, by the way, out there in the Gulf, they were selling shrimp as bait. Of course, I wanted to buy them just to cook them. So you saute this real good all together. Crab meat, which we caught some crabs, and that's my favorite. Louisiana seafood's all my favorite anyway. And you can catch them all out there in offshore Louisiana. Okay? Then next to that, I'm going to use Mr. Egg again. He's getting to be my old buddy. You whip up some egg yolks. Okay. Add them to the mixture. Then to this, you stir it up real good. Yeah, that looks good. To this, I'm going to add some breadcrumbs, okay? Just I gauge it according to my eye. What this does is that it holds the stuffing together. And so when you put it in your fish, it won't fall out. Now, let me add just a little bit more, okay? Very good. I'm going to lower my fire. I'm going to season this with salt and pepper. Boy, it smells so good already. A little bit. Black pepper. Oh, I love to put a lot of seasoning in my stuffing because it makes it so much better. Okay, now we're going to let this cook while I show you how to stuff the flounder. I'll show you how to dress it first, okay? Now, this, of course, like I showed you before, was the flounder. If you don't have access to flounder, you can always use catfish, because catfish is so accessible. It's easy to get. So first, you cut a little pocket right here, just on both sides. You run your knife right through the rib cage, because they just have a rib cage right here, okay? And of course, I have let this cool, and I had some stuffing already fixed. Now this will be kind of messy, but you know all good cooks are messy cooks. So you take your fingers and you stuff it real like I would do my crawfish bisque like this too. You put some on both sides because you have a cavity on both sides of the fish. You just stuff them like this. This looks so good, it smells so good already. Now what I'm going to do to this fish is that I'm going to bake it. But you can broil it too if you want to. You can add breadcrumbs on top if you want to, and I don't. I like to just leave it like this because my stuffing has breadcrumbs in it. Okay, now you see how pretty this is? This is gorgeous, yes. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in the platter. Okay, let me get my hands clean here. because we're going to bake this fish, and we're going to go to the oven and bake it at 350 degrees. And it depends about the size of the fish. This is a pretty large one, so I'll probably leave it in there for about an hour at 350. But if they're smaller, you may want to lessen the time. So I'm going to bake it now. And so while our fish is baking, we'll have time to fix some more dishes with Louisiana seafood.